Hey there, welcome back. In this video, we're expecting it might upset some people, but that's okay. We're used to criticism. The main goal here is to help you spot potential mistakes in your daily life that could be hindering your progress, especially when it comes to money. We often notice that many folks don't really know where their money is going. So, as we go through this list, take a moment to check if you're spending on similar things unnecessarily. If you're new here, a big welcome to you. Make sure to subscribe and like the video so you can keep up with our helpful insights. Without waiting any longer, we're going to talk about 15 things that people struggling financially tend to spend their money on, which can hold them back in life. Number 1. In-game spending. Let's break down the numbers here. Did you know that 70% of Fortnite players actually spend money within the game? On average, these players spend around $84.67 just on digital stuff in Fortnite. And when it comes to Candy Crush, it was raking in a whopping $3 million every day from people buying extras like lives or in-game items. But the real kicker here isn't just the amount of money being spent. It's the huge amount of time that's being used up. You can easily check the hours you've poured into a single game by looking at your screen. For those who consider themselves gamers, hitting 1,000 hours of gameplay in a year isn't uncommon. Some might even surpass that. Now, here's the thing. The average gamer's wage is over $20 per hour. If you do the math, that's potentially $20,000 you're missing out on. And that's not even counting the cost of buying the game, the console, or any additional in-game purchases you might make. Number 2. Banking woes. Your bank might actually be making you lose money. Here's how. First off, you pay a fee when you put money into your bank account. Then, surprise, you also pay a fee when you want to take your money out. Plus, the interest rates they give you are often so low that they hardly keep up with how prices are rising. Inflation. So, when you stash your money in the bank, especially in an uncertain economy, you end up losing money in both the short and long run. The way we handle money is changing so fast that the old tricks about saving cash just don't cut it anymore. That's why we suggested Money, Master the Game. It's a good starting point to learn how to make your money work for you instead of just parking it in the bank. Number 3. Tax realities. Poorer folks often end up paying more taxes because they're not able to create the same kind of value in the marketplace as richer people do. It might not seem fair, but that's how it often works. In the US, wealthy individuals use their money to create more value, and the government rewards them for that. It's surprising how happy some people feel when they get their tax returns and receive money back. But here's the scoop. That money was yours to begin with. The government is just giving it back. What's more, that money doesn't gain any interest while it's with the government. If you managed your money wisely, you could actually have more of it in your hands instead of giving it away to the state for free. Number 4. Tech splurges. It's kind of strange to see folks who are struggling with money spend tons of cash on the newest tech stuff every single year. You might have the money to buy the latest iPhone, but that doesn't mean you can actually afford it. There's a difference there. Similarly, if your home needs fixing up, it might not make sense to splurge on a huge flat-screen TV. It all comes down to how long things last. People who take good care of their stuff end up using them for a much longer time. This means they save money because they don't have to spend on fixing things or buying replacements too often. Number 5. Club spending. Imagine the excitement of popping champagne bottles in a club with everyone watching you. But then, you return to your low-paying job for a whole month just to relive that thrill for a few hours. It's not really being a leader to spend money lavishly at the club or have a higher bail than someone else. You're actually the one being used by someone else, the real boss, who profits from your efforts to impress others who are in the same financial struggle as you. There's a saying among wealthy people that goes, "I never see you at the club, and I never see you at the bank." Essentially, it points out that real success isn't just about partying. It's about being financially successful where it matters, in the bank. Number 6, impulse buys. You might think you need all those phone cases, quirky socks, and kitchen gadgets, but really, you know what things are truly essential for your life, the stuff you actually require. Everything else, it's just being sold to you. They're trying to make you believe you need something when you really just want it. Once you understand the difference between what you need and what you want, you'll start taking charge of your life. A study in the UK found that the average person spends more than £150,000 on impulse buys in their lifetime, while the average American splurges over $5,000 every year. That's a ton of money you could use to genuinely improve your life. Number 7, food waste. You might not realize it, but a lot of food gets wasted. People often buy more food than they actually eat, and most times they end up throwing it away. On average, folks toss out around 40% of the vegetables they buy, 17% of dairy products, and 14% of meat. In the US, the typical household wastes about $20,000 worth of food each year. Interestingly, this wastage happens across different income levels. It's not just a problem for the poor or the middle class. However, it hits the less fortunate much harder, causing more harm to their budgets. Number 8, fitness fads. It took you 2 whole decades to reach your current weight. Do you really think it's safe or realistic to shed half of that weight in just 3 weeks using some magical tea you saw someone promoting on Instagram or TV? Those super fit people in those ads are often personal trainers who spend about 14 hours a day working out. That's their job. You don't really need all those fancy gadgets or gimmicky products advertised on TV, like the roll-up piano, shake weight, or pajama jeans. How many times do you have to fall for these products that promise quick fixes? The real way to get fit is to admit that you're out of shape and decide to do something about it. It's about eating less and moving more. Simple as that. You don't need to spend money on products. What you need to work on is your mindset and commitment to taking care of yourself. Number 9, Lucky Charms. Isn't it strange that people with very little money sometimes spend it on things like Lucky Charms or stones, thinking it will bring them more wealth? But here's the thing. If you don't spend that $1.49 on rocks, you'll actually have $1.49 more in your pocket. And whether you call them crystals or minerals doesn't change the fact that spending on these items won't magically improve your finances. It's not like what you'd see in Breaking Bad. Talking about spiritual items is a whole other story. In some places, like Latin America or Eastern Europe, suggesting not buying a crucifix might get you labeled as a heretic by those who have less. But the reality is, it's often the people with fewer resources that these organizations target to take advantage of what little they have. Number 10, credit cards. Using credit cards can be tricky, especially for those with limited funds. Imagine you have a special card that lets you buy things even if you don't have the money right now, but every time you use it, you're promising to pay back that money, along with extra fees later on. For people who struggle to make ends meet, these cards can seem like a lifeline, but it's like walking into a maze with no clear way out. When you owe money on a credit card, it's like your time and hard work are no longer just for yourself. You're working to pay off what you owe, making it tough to enjoy your life fully until that debt is gone. Unfortunately, many folks end up using these cards too much, spending money they don't really have on things that aren't essential. It's an easy trap to fall into, and once you're in it, getting out becomes incredibly tough. It's like being stuck in a whirlwind of debt that keeps pulling you further away from financial stability. Number 11, beautification over essentials. Sometimes we notice that some folks spend a lot on things like fancy nails or haircuts, even if they can't afford essential stuff like fixing their cars. It can be frustrating because it holds them back from getting better financially. Imagine working hard all week and then spending money on a haircut that won't last long just to impress others who might not be doing any better than you. Have you ever seen how most wealthy people keep things simple, like with their haircuts? And successful women who run businesses don't always have fancy nails or expensive jewelry. It's about deciding what's most important. It's like saying, first, let's sort out the important stuff in life, and then if we have extra money, we can spend it on fun things. It's smarter to fix the important things in life before spending money on extras. Number 12, health. Think of your health like a dragon. If you ignore it, it grows bigger and causes more trouble in your life. Imagine you don't want to deal with a small cavity, and later on, it becomes a big problem where you need an expensive implant. Skipping regular checkups might seem okay, but it could lead to a hospital stay to stay healthy. It's much cheaper to pay for a doctor's visit than for a funeral. Some people who don't have much money hope that if they ignore health problems, they'll vanish. But that strategy doesn't help anyone in the end. Taking care of your health earlier is way better than dealing with bigger problems later on. Number 13, gambling. When people say you need to spend money to make money, they're not talking about buying lottery tickets. Sadly, many people who don't have a lot of money end up spending much more on scratch tickets, slot machines, and casinos hoping for a big win. They dream of hitting the jackpot. In Australia, the average person loses nearly $1,000 a year to gambling, and in the UK, about 70% of people regularly play the lottery. A study from Yale University in 2012 found that those with the least money had the highest rate of playing the lottery, with 61% participating, and they spent an average of 26.1 days gambling in a year. While hoping for a big win, spending money on these games often leads to losing more money in the long run, especially for those who can't afford to lose what they're betting. Number 14. Smoking and vaping. People who gamble often are more likely to have other habits like smoking or vaping. The average pack of cigarettes costs about $6.28. If someone smokes a pack a day, that's about $188 per month or $2,292 per year. Smoking for 10 years can cost nearly $22,920, and prices might be even higher depending on where you live. If both partners smoke or vape, one of them could be working an entire month just to pay for these habits. Around 1.1 billion people smoke worldwide, which means roughly 1 in 7 people is a smoker. Vaping is becoming more popular than traditional smoking, making companies lots of money. For those who want to quit smoking and be healthier, there's a book called Alan Carr's Easy Way to Stop Smoking. It's a self-help book that has sold over 20 million copies worldwide, becoming a #1 bestseller in 9 European countries. It's the most popular book for helping people quit smoking. Number 15. Charitable donations. Let's talk about donating money to causes. Some believe that when you donate, the money doesn't always reach those in need. Instead, it often goes towards paying the salaries of people working for the charity. They say charities can sometimes be scams, especially because they target people who themselves might not have much but want to help others. For example, the boss or general manager of a charity often earns around $250,000 a year from the charity's funds. This is an average among the top 100 charity organizations in the UK, and similar situations can be found in many places worldwide. About 35% of donated money is used for fundraising, creating a cycle where money keeps going back into getting more money. Instead of giving money to telethons or big charity events, some suggest buying products for local shelters or finding ways to create opportunities for those in need. It's like teaching someone how to fish rather than just giving them a fish. Now, let's think about where people tend to waste money the most. From your own experiences or by observing others around you, what do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments. And as a thank you for watching this video, here's a bonus fact for you. Number 16, trying to look rich. Remember when we talked about learn it till you earn it? Well, that's better than the idea of fake it till you make it. Imagine two people are given $2,000 each. One spends $800 at the club, shows off on social media, and seems like they're doing great. The other person decides to invest their money and gets a 10% return, ending up with $2,200. One looks rich, but the other is actually growing their money. The goal isn't just to appear wealthy, but to truly become wealthy. Your choices should aim for growth, not just for show. That's how you break free from financial struggles. If you're committed to growing from your current situation, type GROW in the comments. It's your signal that things need to change in your life. Thanks for being here with us. Remember to like and subscribe so you won't miss our next video. Check out these recommended videos too. Thanks for watching the whole video.